Hi there. I am walking down the street. It's probably like 95 degrees in the city, and that's okay, but I'm sweating, so that's why I'm explaining that to you. That I am normally a sweater anyway. I just run hot, and I'm sweating. So, that's really completely not the point of this video. The point of this video is to tell you a little bit about stories and how important stories are. Stories, in my humble opinion, stories are part of what helped humans to evolve the way we did. It's how we learn. It's how... That's going to be very loud when it comes by here. But stories are what allowed our ancestors to tell our other ancestors about the lion that lives over there, or this time they came up and they saw a bear and they went, "Wah!" instead of running away, and how that helped, right? That's how we survived. And then, of course, there are entertaining stories. There's stories that we make up and that fulfilled our needs, but that's a different story. I'm talking about the nonfiction stories, right? Stories that we all have that help others. That is how we evolved as humans. Part of how we evolved. The other part is cooking our food, right? But yeah, I could go into that. I'm not going to go into that. This is where I kind of have to choose my story because I tend to go into all different directions. But my point is, the reason I've been doing the videos that I've been doing, like opening up and sharing what I'm going through, is because of my story. And I want my story to help people. My story, in as much of a nutshell as I can give it to you, is that I was always sure of what I wanted to do. I always wanted to be an actor. That's what my life was pointed at from the time that I could talk. And also other artistic pursuits. I'm a writer, obviously, and I'm an artist, and I like to make jewelry, and I take photographs, and I make films, and blah blah blah. Not blah blah blah, because it's all really important to me, but I have this passion that I was aiming for my whole life. And I finally got to the point where I was about to make it happen. And I got to that point several times, and each time I self-sabotaged. So I got into a depression. And it lasted for years. And it ebbed and flowed, as it were, but it was a major depression, and it lasted for years. And I got to the point where it's like, I'm in my 40s. How the hell am I going to get out of this? Like, I'm broke as hell. Like, broker than hell. Like, hell is like 5 stages above where I'm broke. And I don't know, like, the world's attitude is kind of like, if you haven't learned by now, see, I'm sweating, it's hot. If you haven't learned by now, you're never going to learn. So they kind of give up on you, and you give up on yourself, or I gave up on myself, let's say. But I found it within me last year when COVID hit, and I didn't have to be freaking out about money every 5 seconds. I found that I could then work on myself, which is a lesson that we all should learn. And I got myself to a point, like emotionally and spiritually, as far as I could take myself. And then I found this amazing community called the Alchemist Nation. And they have helped me immensely. And one of the things that I'm doing is one of the things that they're helping me, Walter Amarillo and the Alchemist Nation are helping me start a business. And the point, though, is that I was in a really dark, scary, sad place. And I didn't think that I could ever really get out. I didn't think there was a way out. I thought it was too late for me. I thought, I'm too old. No one's going to give me a second chance. Like, I'm not going to give myself a second chance. If I don't know by now, I'm just a hopeless failure lump of a person, and it's never going to get any better. And I couldn't see a way out for myself. And that lasted for a number of years. I was very depressed. And I'm telling my story because there is actually a way out. And that's what I want to share with people. I want to share my way out. I didn't start doing this back when I first started my journey out of my depression, but I've started it now, and I'm certainly still continuing. I might not be in the depths of it right now, but they don't tell you in therapy, and I was in therapy for years, that after you're depressed, there's a whole bunch of crap that you have to relearn. You have to know how to, I mean, you know, it was 10 years ago, you know, this is a completely different life that I'm living now, and how do you navigate that, right? So I'm sharing my story to help anybody else who's felt this way, to show them that it doesn't matter how long you've felt this way, it doesn't matter how old you are, there is actually hope. I know that that sounds cheesy, and I know you've heard it before, but there's hope, and you can do it, and I am proof of that, and that is why I share my story. Now, you may have a story, because we all have our stories. We all have something that we've learned and that we can pass on to other people. So I want to ask you what your story is and what you have to teach people. Let me know. And that's about it, really. I just hope you all remember that you can always choose to have a grateful day.